market to continue its downtrend, because you can see on the previous week the market was staying lower. So we expected crude to continue its downtrend having 4,760, and again we were targeting the same zone which we targeted for the last week, 4,800 to 4,820. Till this zone we expected crude to have selling. So let us see what happened after that. After the price opening initially around the zone, the market entered into the key zone of 4,760. So what we expected is that we expected some resistance to happen around the zone, but the market has entered into the key zone of and just above 4,760, but still till we expect the selling to continue till 4,800 to 4,820. So we now it has entered just above 4,760. It is quite a cautious and very crucial zone for us. So after entering into the zone, you can see the market has consolidated here for a while. So you can see the market was consolidated. It's consolidating here for a long while, and then you can see it has provided a strong resistance. Now this 4,760 has provided a strong resistance that pushed the market down till 4,730. So initially there was a consolidation and there was a struggle within the zone. The pressure was also created by the rupee, because the rupee was just climbing higher during this time, which means that the market has created a long pressure just above 4,760, and failure to sustain above 4,760 pushed the market down till 4,730. Now let us see whether this 4,000, whether after the price action, whether the market sustained the downtrend of 4,760. Let us go and see what happened after that. So in the market initially it was you can see that it is consolidating around the same zone. So the market again went back and tested this 4,760. So the market is trying to test this 4,760 again, and the market of 4,760 provided some resistance for the crude market. You can now simply notice that how many times the market is trying to hit this 4,760. So right from the market opening, the market is pushing. It is, even though it is staying below 4,760, always it is putting some consistent effort to break this 4,760. So let us see what happened. So after a failure to break this 4,760, that pushed the market down, and it could break this 4,720 zone also, and the market has entered into the market a daily low of 4,650. So this is what can happen if the failure to sustain or break 4,760. So the market after struggling a lot below 4,760, and so many times it went and hit this 4,760, and a failure to break this resistance pushed the market down till 4,000, and it could easily break this 4,720, one of the key support zone also. It could easily break this, and now it has entered into the major support zone of 4,660. And we have explained what is this 4,760 in the presentation, yesterday's presentation. You can go back and see why this 4,000, what it is all about, this 4,660, and it has created a low of around 4,650. And let us see what happened during the price closing. It was consolidating around the zone for a long time. Now you can see this 4,660 is providing a good support after and at the end of the trading session, and the market closed just near 4,659, which we can consider as equal to 4,660. So on comparing the yesterday's closing with the price opening, though we can say that it is the market has closed below, even after a spiked up opening also the market has closed below that, and the entire price action, the market was dominated by the sellers. Initially we cannot neglect, and we cannot take that as very easy that there was some buying, we cannot neglect that. But again this 4,760 has provided a good resistance like what it has provided on the previous week also. So that is important. You can go back and see what is 4,760. It has provided some big resistance around 4,760, and like the same way it happened. But one and only major influential factors and other thing which we should see is that what influenced this price and what made this price to consolidate around the zone in the earlier session. It was purely based upon the rupee factor. So though the market was dropping, the crude internationally it was dropping, but the rupee pushed and made that to stay just near 4,760. and we request all the clients also to go back and see the rupee factors also. You should it is not a huge influential factor, but to certain extent, whenever the market was with in the major key zone, it is playing some crucial role nowadays. So it was yesterday was completely dominated by the sellers. The market stayed with the trend and closed around 4,660, one of the major key support zones. So what we can expect for today? So it is very clear that the market is continuing its downtrend in crude oil, and it is always based upon the price. So today's price opening also. So today we are expecting a crude to open somewhere around 4,630 to 4,620. So today's expected price opening is also going to be just below the previous day's price closing, around 4,630 to 4,620. It can vary based upon the rupee factor also, but it just a marginal difference can happen. And before the price opening around 9 o'clock, the market will open. You can go back and see, go ahead and see this price opening, how the rupee is reacting. Then we will get a clear picture about that too. So expected price opening is below the previous day's price closing, and as usual expected trend is going to be down for today also. But we are not going to modify or change all the support and resistance and stop loss zone. The stop loss zone still remains the same, around 4,800 to 4,820. But a word of caution is that the intermediate stop loss zone of 4,760 is going to be very crucial for deciding the trend, since it is going to be the convergence of the average for long-term average also. So the convergence of long-term average is going to happen near the zone of 4,760, which can play a major role in influencing the price direction in crude oil. And since why we have this 4,800 4,820 as a stop loss is just to have some extra buffer for the rupee factors also. And today also we are expecting crude to continue its downtrend for today. So what the target zones, you may know well, all the target zones are marked as a major support and resistance zone. So if the trend continues, you can expect 4,580. So let us see what's going to happen during our trading session. Thanks a lot for watching our video, and take care. Happy trading. Bye.